So long as a man is fit and able to support his family, see what affection all those around him show. But no one at home cares to even have a word with him when his body totters due to old age.
The question is, what is this tendency within man to be associated with another person as long as he or she is physically fit and attractive, and to not to be near and to not to care once old age or disease render that other person unattractive? I think we have already looked at the situation and answered it, have we not? Unattractive. The I tendency, the ego, is always in a state of need, want. The ego is always needy. The ego is always a beggar. The ego is always lonely and incomplete. And if one is a beggar, to whom does one go? Does one go to another beggar? No. A beggar would want to go to someone who appears to be in a position to give him something, right? Right? So the ego is always looking for profit. The ego is always looking to go to someone who can fulfill its objectives. Obviously, the ego is a foolish entity, so it does not know its real objectives. The ego does not know what would really give it fulfillment. But in its own self-proclaimed, self-held wisdom, the ego keeps on deciding. The ego keeps on deciding who is beneficial for the ego, to whom it must go. Now, how does the ego firstly decide that it is needy? The ego decides that it is needy in comparison to the rest of the world. Otherwise, there is no way the ego can come to this conclusion. The ego decides that it needs to be more attractive, more beautiful. How does it know firstly that it is not yet very attractive or beautiful? By comparing itself to the other. The ego decides that it needs to be stronger. How does it firstly know that it is not strong enough? By comparing itself to someone else. The ego decides that it needs to be more knowledgeable. How does it firstly know that it is not knowledgeable enough? By comparing itself to somebody who appears to have more knowledge. So my sense of need itself comes from comparison with someone who appears to be bigger than me. That obviously has now decided automatically for me to whom I would go. If I have decided that I am weak by looking at a strong one, then to whom am I going to go? To the strong one, obviously. First of all, the strong one is the one who, by way of comparison, made me feel that I am weak, relatively. So if I have to associate myself, who would be my preferred partner? Obviously the strong one. How do I know that I lack in knowledge? Because I compared myself with the knowledgeable one. So when it comes now to choosing a companion, to whom would this ego deficient in knowledge go?
To the knowledgeable one.
To the knowledgeable one. Now, if I am weak, I am going to go to the strong one. I am going to go to the strong one till he is
Strong.
I'm going to go to the knowledgeable one till he appears
Knowledgeable.
Strong.
Weak.
Knowledgeable.
obviously knowledgeable. The day his strength falls apart, would I go to him? That's what the sutra is saying. You go to the other only because you perceive yourself to be small, incomplete, deficient. You go to the other who appears to promise to make up for your deficiency. It is only for this profit that you are attracted to the other. And that is the ugly fact about our relationships. If we are attracted to someone for a reason, the attraction would loosen, weaken, diminish the moment the reason for attraction is gone. I think I am poor. I'll be attracted to the
Rich.
I'll be attracted to the rich who by way of comparison in the first place made me feel poor. So I'll be attracted to the rich, alright? I'm attracted to the rich because I feel poor. The day the rich one loses his riches, what happens to my attraction to him and my association with him?
It goes away.
It's gone. It's gone because the very basis of relationship was a reason. That is why our relationships come apart. That is why two people who appeared entwined inseparably become frayed. It would be instructive to explore whether there is anyone to whom we are associated without a reason. And if the association is on the foundation of the ego, if the association is from the center of the ego, the association would be always for profit, always for a reason. Reason means profit. And then we wish we have a relationship beyond time. And then we desire to have something that situations, circumstances, moods and climates can neither touch nor change. Will it ever happen? Reasons come and go, seasons come and go. Now would you answer it for me? How to have a long-lasting relationship? Answer it for me, please.
From the other center.
If you can be associated without a reason, without a purpose, then you know that it is not some flimsy profit, but the truth alone that attracts you. Truth is not seasonal. Truth won't go away. And if truth appears too abstract to you, let me put it this way. If being with the other gives you a peace that cannot be explained, then it's quite likely that the relationship will withstand the test of time. If being with the other does not require you to wear masks, pretend to be someone else, calculate what you are losing or gaining, then it's quite possible that the relationship will be long lasting. It is another matter that the ones in a long lasting relationship neither wanted it to be long lasting nor care whether it is long lasting. To want a long lasting relationship would again mean that time is giving you certain benefits. So you want to maximize the time. He pays me $50,000 per year. I want to maximize the length of this time. Why? Because if 1 year of relationship means $50,000, then 10 years of relationship would mean $500,000. It is the ego that is usually interested in prolonging a relationship, and it is the ego that hardly ever gets relationships that have any durability. Getting it? We need to honestly explore and look into our relationships. You got associated with someone when you were young. Now you are middle-aged and you are wondering why the relationship lacks spark, why there is dullness all around. Isn't the reason but obvious? It was the young man's body with the young woman's body. The bodies have come apart. How would and why would she be interested in you? You don't have that anymore. Or maybe you still have it, but the other fellow does not have it in him anymore to take it from you. Even then the relationship would not mean anything. Gone. Where is the profit? The ego was always needy and the need is not being met. And when the needs are not being met, then the relationship experiences strain. Do you see this?
Is it required from both the side, or if it is one side is...
You see, you suffer by yourself. So when it comes to understanding, it should again be in aloneness. Take care of your own suffering. If the other got associated with you because of his or her need, it is not possible that he or she could exploit you without you having a reciprocal need. If it's a need-based relationship, it would be a need-based relationship from both the sides. Otherwise, you won't suffer. Otherwise, you won't suffer. Maybe your need is an apparently advanced need, a sublime need, but it still is a need. Somebody's need is to take. Somebody's need is to give. Yes, even giving can be a need. It makes you feel big, strong, powerful. When somebody accepts a favor from you, that fellow is on his part doing you a favor. Do you see that? By accepting a favor from you, he's making you feel big. So the needs of both the parties are being simultaneously met. He wanted money. You wanted grandeur. Both got what they wanted. But it might appear that one is giving the other. No. The giving is both ways.
Even love also.
Love also. Love also.
When it is a reasonless relationship, is it even okay to call it a relationship?
Wonderful. Wonderful. Then all that is physical about the relationship is merely situational. Then you cannot get affixated physically. Then you will be together as bodies, as human beings, only as long as the situations ask for and only as long as the situations allow. because there was no need to be together. So when the time comes, you will have no problems in bidding goodbye. You won't be left wondering or crying. Are you getting it? In some sense, you will know that goodbyes are a myth. You will know that which brought you together is still in the same place. So there is no question of separation. But for that, there must be something really that must bring you together. Usually, you very well know that which brought you together was a figment of impermanence. It's gone. The terrible part is, often both the parties know that the seasonal glue that held them together has long since dried. Now there is no real relationship. It's only the inertia of the past that's keeping them together. And still they continue to be together, pretending as if there is love. Such pretense, it's a moribund pretense. It keeps sapping the life out of you bit by bit. One mark of a need-based relationship is that it is characterized by fear. You would be thinking of the other behind his back and wondering, what if he leaves me? If your partner is thinking about you in your absence and having sleepless nights wondering, what if he leaves me? Then you have already left him or her. Why put up the show? One mark of a real relationship would be that leaving would appear very unnatural. The word leaving itself would not occur in the mind. You'd just say, I'm going away. And that does not mean leaving or separation. But if the relationship is need-based, then going away would never be smooth. It would always be marked by a tearing apart of the mind. You would not smoothly slide away. You would find that you have to forcibly tear yourself away. Getting it? The other would be behind you, holding you, clutching you, begging, please don't go away. In a real relationship, the other would simply be not living in the fear. And when I say the other, I mean you as well, obviously. In a real relationship, the other would simply not be living in the fear of separation. You live in the fear of separation only when you know that you are extracting something from your partner. Now you know once he is gone, the exploitation would be no more possible. Hold him somehow. And that is such a pity, because nobody needs to exploit the other. We all are essentially self-sufficient beings. So the one who is living in the fear of being deserted by the partner is actually living in a lie. Nobody is so small or incapable that he has to depend on someone else. The woman who prays that the husband should not leave her has no understanding of her own strength. Had she known how utterly powerful, capable and sufficient she is, why would she have acted like a doormat? We live in a feeling of such deep rooted incompleteness that our relationship with the world and anything or anybody in the world is that of exploitation. We know no way of relating except the way of exploitation, which is also politely called the way of business. You see what happens in business. Apparently, business is about having fair deals. Apparently. Two fellows sign an agreement. Apparently, it's a fair agreement because both of them are signing it out of their own free will. Now let's do a small experiment. Let's meet them individually. A and B have just signed an accord. You go to A and he'll say, you know what? I just cut a very good deal. He is in his own mind thinking that he has exploited B, and that's what gives him happiness. I got the least price possible. I've really skinned him. Now you go to B. In his own deep and true wisdom, what is B believing? You know what? A thinks that he's super smart. But this deal that I've just closed, he doesn't even know what kind of clauses it has. I'll fleece him alive. So apparently it's a fair deal, but actually both of them are in it because both of them think that they have been able to exploit the other. That's the only way that we know of having a relationship. Fleece the other, skin the other. Are you getting it? And then obviously when you are old and diseased and incapable and have no money left, why would somebody care for you? What do you have to offer to him? What are you left with? And that is why women want to look young even when they are 70 years old. You see why? If I don't have a body worth offering, who will look at me? Who will care for me? Who will bother to be with me? So it's important that I continue to hold on to that which sells, that which the other will find attractive. And that is why men find it important to have a particular kind of body even in their advanced years. Or a lot of wealth. It's the wealth that keeps on bringing my kids back to me. I very well know that day I am left with nothing, my kids won't even look at me. Forget about caring. So that is why people are so sticky about money. It's not money that they want, it's love. Unfortunately, in our world, love comes only via money. You don't have any money, who would offer you love? Countries disintegrate when they go bankrupt. Why did the USSR disintegrate? No money. Now all the smaller states that were a part of the family till 1991 want to go away. Like a father going kaput, left with nothing. Why would the sons still live in the ancestral home? Why would the sons still obey the instructions of the center, of the capital city? Gone. And we all know that. I was in school, I had a friend. He was known for a few things. One, his looks. Second, his height. Third, his skill with basketball. Fourth, his reputation. He was very popular, especially among girls. One particular match, the entire school had gathered to cheer the team. And he was the face of the team. The tallest, the smartest, the fastest. And he performed pathetically. It happens. Sports persons sometimes just don't have their days. You look like an idiot on the court. It's all right. One of those days. In the evening, I went to him. He just won't open the door. Just won't open the door. Kept knocking, kept trying. Then he opens and he says, "तुम अभी भी क्यों आए हो? Why have you still come?" In his mind, he had very clearly decided that if someone comes to him, it would be because of his charisma, because he is a winner, because he is the best one. So it was difficult, almost impossible for him to believe that someone could come to him even on his day of defeat, of ignominy. And he was really wondering, why have you come? How can somebody come to me? In his mind, the only thing that could have served as a medium between him and anybody else was his reputation and such stuff. Reputation gone, image gone. How is it possible that I am still attractive to somebody? That is why I often say that those who come to me, whether in the camps or in the sessions or anywhere, to get something, will unfortunately get what they want and go away, and that will prove that they got nothing. If there is a reason behind the relationship is bound to be hollow and momentary. That moment could last years, but still it's a moment. In the span of time, years are shorter than moments. Only when you are reasonlessly there, only when you know that being here brings me nothing, gives me no profit, only when you find it impossible to explain why you are with someone, would there be some juice in the relationship. And that juice itself is godliness. People are afraid of losing their jobs. Why? It's not only my job that I would lose my wife as well. Had it been only about the job, who would have bothered so much? People are afraid of failing their examinations. It's not only the examination that I would fail, I would also fail my parents. Otherwise, who bothers so much about examinations? Is she married to you or to your job? Do they love you or your grades? Unfortunately, the answer is not what it must be.
This is the harsh truth.
One of the camp members, in the duration of the camp itself, was informed that a close relative has unfortunately expired. The concerned member was in two minds. Should I go? Even if I go, would I be able to reach in time? What is the point in going now? I prompted him to leave. I prompted him to leave not so much because I think that it is very important to attend somebody's last rites. Attending somebody's last rites hardly means anything. Serve the person when he is alive. After he is gone, what is the point in having a congregation? But yet I encouraged him to go. I encouraged him to go because I wanted him to see that the body is burnt alone. I wanted him to see that only one body burns. Those who keep riding all over you all your life do not enter the fire along with you. Those who keep on claiming that they possess you, own you, are part of your life, just do not turn into ashes along with you. But as long as you are alive, they would act as if you mean the world to them. We live in lies, don't we? Forget about the funeral pyre. Would they even go to jail with you? If you suffer a disease, would they suffer along with you? And if they do, then run away, because then the exploitation is even deeper. If a businessman is paying 100 rupees, he's probably looking to make a profit only of, let's say, 50 rupees. But if he is investing 1 crore, then beware. He is looking for some real serious fat profit. So if someone says, I am prepared to suffer along with you, God save you. In love, in real relationship, you do not suffer with the other. You heal the other. You help show the other that suffering is unnecessary. You do not become a participant in the suffering. You become an exemplar of non-suffering. You are suffering, I am not. See, this is possible. See, it is possible to not to suffer. And here I stand. Why can't you stand like me? Your very presence inspires the other to go beyond his suffering. But we take it as a mark of love. Because I was crying, she too started crying. You know, so deep is her love. Would mankind ever wake up? It's like the doctor trying to heal the patient by taking in a shot of the virus.
I don't know to, after such a big session which has been very revealing, I am actually trying to judge the people in my life to see whether I have something, rather than going to the point that first of all, Bhaj Govindam. What is unnecessary, I'm trying to deal with that. The necessary is again missed.
It's a beautiful observation. It's a most beautiful observation. The purpose of my rant was not to make you feel insecure about your relationships. It was to help you see that real security is not to be found where you are looking for it. That if the ego starts as a needy entity, it would keep getting into deeper mess. So first of all, don't start as a needy entity. Give up that ugly self-image. Yes? That is what is meant by Bhaj Govindam. Govind means the total. Remember the total, and then you will feel no need to act like a beggar, go here and there, and establish relationships of need and convenience. Remember the total and give no credence or support to thoughts of insufficiency, incompleteness, comparisons, judgments. Comparison would always make you feel incomplete. You know what? The ego enters into comparison thinking that someday, or at least with someone, it would be found superior. But the fact is, comparison is a lose-all game. There is no parameter on which you can ever be the highest. And if you are the highest currently, there is no guarantee that you would remain the highest forever. So comparison would inevitably, without fail, keep on making you feel smaller, inferior, and the need to gain something, get something would be established even deeper. You may say right now, yes, I am the highest, but my advantage is just 3:1. And 3:1 is no advantage at all. I can lose this in no time. So I'll be secure only if I make it at least 30:1. Comparison makes you feel defeated even if you are currently a winner. I might be a winner, but look at how slim the margin of victory is. Who can trust such a slim margin? So let me build a margin. At no point will you ever feel really secure. So don't take that route in the first place. Don't compare unless there is a pressing factual need, first thing. And even if you compare, the comparison should be on certain parameters and should not become ever a reflection on your self-worth. Yes, of course, you can compare. How fast was my bike compared to somebody else's bike? How fast was I compared to my own speed the last time? You can compare, nothing wrong with that. But it should never become a judgment on who you are. It should never become an estimate of your being. Yes, so don't take that route at all. Remember that this whole discussion began by saying that the ego feels needy, and it can feel needy only when it compares. Don't do that. Let the world be. You are all right within, deeply within, you are very, very all right.